Welcome back, everybody, to Tuesday Night Pro Scrims. Curse, they still lead over Complexity, and they are one map away from closing this one out. But Complexity, another great performance from them on Capture Flag Standoff. They won that one 3-0. And if you missed any match tonight, you want to head over to youtube.com/official MLG COD. You can see all the VODs there, as well as if you missed any of the 5000 series, the videos, they're up there.
Yeah, and I mean, the 5000 series, we had some amazing matches on stream, so you definitely want to check those out. And, you know, even tonight, we've had some amazing games with clutch plays all on board.
All right, so we were calling Complex for the MVP so far on the night Pro Scrims, so I think it's only fair we start on with him. But
we're going to restart.
Yeah, it looks like something from Complexity, maybe a wrong class set. I think Krim definitely wants to take off that RCXD car he was using,
not too
put on a War Machine,
or
if he wants to go into Terminator mode, bring out the Death Machine.
Yeah, I mean, the Death Machine we don't see too often on
but when we do, it's from Hardpoint.
Yeah, when we do, we see it from Krim. And yeah, this map's probably, if you were to use it on one map, I would say either this map or Yemen are probably the two maps you'd want it on. I mean, I think you can do some damage with it in Kitchen, watching the front and the back.
Can you do more damage with a War Machine or a Death Machine in Kitchen?
I think right now you're seeing tons of people switch over to Flak Jacket, so it's kind of, I mean, the War Machine's still extremely effective at Flak Jacket, but you go through it so quickly that I think the Death Machine, it's pretty effective.
I mean, you saw some people try to test it out at the beginning of the game, then they're like, wow, this thing, it's not as great as I thought it would be. So you switch over to the War Machine, which of course the splash damage is really why you want to use that one.
Is huge,
But other than that, you see sentry guns a lot. I mean, remember when we were playing with the Hunter Killer?
Yeah, the Hunter Killer was fun to play with. Even yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Even when you were allowed to play with Hardline, and then you would get like 2 kills in the hill and get an orbital VSAT, I thought that was awesome too.
Capture the objectives.
But let's start out with Complex here. Why have we been naming him the MVP of the night?
No, he's just been coming up clutch on all game modes, to be honest. You know, he went big on the Hardpoint on Slums, and on both Search and Destroys. I mean, he clutched probably the 2 or 3 most important rounds of the whole game. And I mean, if he doesn't clutch those rounds, I mean, this could very well be the final map in Complexity's favor.
All right, but off the start, it was Aches with the hot hand for Complexity. But Claser, you don't see this guy in the Hardpoint often, but when he gets in there, it's because all of his teammates are dead. So his job is to stay alive. But not only that, he was racking up a ton of time on the Hardpoint, and because of that, he just earned his Hellstorm missile.
Yeah, you know, he's actually going to end his Lightning Strike too.
And a Stealth Chopper.
Stealth Chopper too. I mean, Claser's just going in right now, Revan.
We're going to see when he decides to call this in. I mean, he could call it in very early in the game just to kind of play that mind game with his opponents. Like, you know what? I got a Stealth Chopper. We haven't even played a minute into the game.
Yeah, I think he'll probably save it.
I mean, they know he's got it.
They got to know he has streaks. But I think the perfect spots to use this Stealth Chopper are either in basketball, if you get a pretty late rotation, or even in the middle hill. And it looks like he's going to overlap his streaks.
Yeah, he's got to call in the Hellstorm missile or the Lightning Strike right now. I mean, it's looking like he will actually. Never mind, he doesn't double up. So thankfully he didn't use them. But now you got TP inside the Hardpoint for Complexity. He's dead, but here comes Crimbot. Does fly one, turning around. It's going to be Blind Fire taking him out over near the pool side. But I can't switch off a Clayster.
Yeah, you know, this is usually the Complexity you see on Hardpoint. It was pretty odd to see them lose 2 Hardpoints in a row. And right now, I mean, they're just slaying right now. I mean, they can't get lazy. You can't just start doing late rotations because then Curse is going to creep back in the game.
So it's going to be Teep just fighting for the rest of the time on the Hardpoint. It looks like his teammate Clayster will clean up the kill, but he's going to be the last one to rotate. And you know what? I've been seeing the Anchor player rotate later and later. You know, you give it to the submachine guns, they get there a bit quicker, especially if they're using extreme conditioning for the rotation. So the Anchor player, he's going to be the slowest guy there, but as your submachine guns push through, he'll pick up the slack, you know, as you leave the Anchor spot. Of course, Clayster will take over there.
Yeah, you know, I agree. We're definitely seeing the Anchors push a little later, and we're actually seeing more subs rotate towards the Anchor positions and playing those at the start. And I believe that's something we saw out of Impact, we saw that, and I believe also Dito and Fizzerp at Atlanta were actually running 4 subs on some maps on Hardpoint and just putting tons of pressure on the Anchor position. And I think since then we've been seeing more subs push the Anchor spot.
All right, so more submachine guns out there. Help out your Anchor player take control of the spawns. It's a team game in the end. If you got 3 players pushing the Anchor spot, you know, you're just increasing your chances so much by at least trying to get the spawns there.
Yeah, I agree. And right now, I think we're seeing a smart play to just give up on this garage. You don't want to feed them streaks because streaks will make the game about even. I mean, you're going to be down. You're going to be up only a few seconds, but you know, if you can hold this basketball to start, you can get the solid 20, 30 seconds and make it all back.
Is this one Clayster is going to call on the stealth chopper off the basketball hard point?
You know, the game's actually pretty close right now, so I think you're going to see him save his streaks later into the game when, you know, the team really needs them.
Okay, so he's going to control the full side of the map as he picks up the kill in the complex. Aches got taken out inside the hard point, so it's going to be blind fire now as they switch over to him. Looks like he might be working towards some streaks, but he's EMP'd, so I just want to wait. Yeah, he was around halfway there. Miracle's down to 4 kill streak, 1 more kill, and he will earn himself the house armor. So he's going to run out there with the knife. Oh, his teammate's there to help him out. He's only got 4 bullets left. Aches does pick up that kill, and a big kill with that one.
Yeah, it's a huge kill, you know. To let Miracles get streaks, I mean, the game is super close, but to let him get streaks, that just would make it even closer and just kind of counteract Clayster's streaks.
Yeah, especially since the Hellstorm missile, that's probably the best thing to use when you're going to try to take out that stealth chopper when he eventually calls that in. But he's so fully streaked out, moving into the square hard point, and I'm still waiting for him to call this puppy in.
Yeah, you know, I think we're going to wait and probably see it on the second rotation of hard points, because right now they have control of square. You don't really have anybody from Curse rotating early, which is kind of surprising. And I mean, you know what though? Curse broke right through it.
So it's going to be TP regains control of the hardpoint. Looks like he's going to do some juggling action, but Twiz sees all over it, picks up that kill inside the hardpoint. It's going to be Complex following this one up for Curse Gaming, jumping in. But if there's one team that does a great job of controlling this hardpoint, it's Complexity. They're just going to leave one submachine gun player. Mainly, it's going to be TP. Just hang out in the square, let his teammates roam around and pick up the kills there, and that's really the standard set we've been seeing on this hardpoint as the game has progressed.
Yeah, you know, we don't see a ton of teams really play for too much time on this middle hill, but as the games progress, I think we're seeing more and more of it, because the middle hill, you can pick up tons of time, and you can also actually manipulate the spawns in your favor going towards the next hill.
And, you know, this is a very close game. Only now 13 points separating both these teams heading into the middle square hardpoint. And Clayster, we've been saying it since the first hard point, he's got a stealth chopper.
Yeah, and he's going to wait because, you know, right now he probably knows that there's no really streaks from Curse coming in. So you don't have to worry about getting streak countered. And they have control over the hill and the spawn, so there's really no reason to use it right now.
Okay, so Complexity hanging on inside the hard point, and they're just pushing out to the spawn points and taking Curse off spawn. So lots of kills coming in favor of Complexity, as you saw in the kill feed there. Now it's going to be Crimsix. He's alive in the hard point. As he gets taken out, we're going to look at his scoreboard once again. It's going to be Clayster leading Complexity 22 and 14. And not only that, he's got the most defense out of all the players on his team.
Yeah, you know, that's just ridiculous from Clayster. But it also shows that the other ARs for Complexity are picking up the job anchoring. You know, they're still getting good spawns. So if Clayster's playing more for the hill, there's the other people picking up his work.
Now it's about the rotation to the kitchen. Hardpoint Ace gets taken out, but I don't see anybody from Complexity making their way over towards that side of the map yet. I mean, I'm going to say it's a bit of a late rotation from Complexity right here.
Yeah, it's an extremely late rotation from Complexity, and it'll be interesting to see if this is when Clayster's going to use the streaks to break it and force them out.
I mean, the kitchen hardpoint, I don't think they're that useful. Maybe if you want to stack the anchor, but Ace, he's going to lead the charge, takes out all the players inside the hardpoint, so they take control back just like that. So no streaks needed from Clayster.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just pretty much Ace, and I believe that was TP behind him, you know, breaking the hill. And, you know, Ace has some of the fastest reaction time I've ever seen on any game on the circuit.
Yeah, I mean, whenever something happens, Ace is on top of it, especially when it comes to looking at the minimap. I mean, whenever I'm watching a player stream, I don't really care about the gameplay. I'm really looking at their eyes and how fast are they looking at the minimap. Ace, he's one of the fastest guys at getting that information and reacting on it.
Yeah, you know, he's an extremely smart player. He pretty much makes the right play most of the time. And, you know, if you can keep making consistently the right plays over and over again, your team's going to win.
And Ace, he's one of those weird guys out there. He plays on inverted.
Inverted. He's actually, he says he's a good American because he plays inverted. Because, you know, started back in GoldenEye playing on that Nintendo 64 controller in inverted.
I don't know how he does it. I can't do it.
I think it's all backwards. I played with a few teammates who have played inverted, and I don't understand it.
But in the meantime, Clayster, he's yet to use any of his score streaks, and now we're getting to the last couple of hard points here. It's going to be Curse. They will break into the garage hard point, take control, and this might be a bit scary for Complexity because this is the hard point where we see teams start to mount a comeback, and Complex, he's dangerously close to those score streaks.
Yeah, you know, Complex is extremely close to streaks, and this is why you save your streaks towards the end of the round, because with games this close and with teams as good as Curse, I mean, you never know. They can make a comeback. And, you know, right now going into this basketball, Complexity is going to have to hold at the beginning and if they had streaks cursed right now, it would be extremely difficult.
He used it.
Yeah.
He's going to call the stealth chopper off the rotation towards the basketball hardpoint. If Complex gets taken out here, this is going to be a great position for Complexity. There you go. He gets taken out by Chris. Twist does have the Hellstorm missile, so he missed.
He missed
the
it.
stealth
Oh
chopper.
no, that's
man.
that is a pretty big fail
Puckett,
right
if you're
there.
looking for some top 5 fail
Fails
plays,
of the week.
I
That
got you a
was it
number one right there.
You know, and that's
That's
not
just
good.
unfortunate
That's
right
just
there.
not good. Yeah, you know, I like to say that's unfortunate, but that's just not good right there.
So it looks like we are getting some dislag for the moment, but the stealth chopper is eventually dealt with, and Kleaser also used the lightning strike as Complexity. They have around a 20-point lead here, but it's all going to come down to the final hardpoint. They currently control the basketball, but Twiz does break in, finds 1 kill, but here comes Kleaser. He picks up that one, still has a Hellstorm as well to call in, and it looks like he has a shot at doubling up here, but nobody from Curse is going to push for the last 10 seconds. It all comes down to the final square hardpoint, as we usually see on Raid.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, that's just. I believe Complexity got a full 60 off that. Probably, if not a full 60 with contest, probably 50 seconds.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's the difference between winning and losing rounds. But Curse still has a chance. They have this middle hard.
That's over right
it.
there.
Right there with that contest.
It's all over. Complexity. They're going to stay alive for at least another map as Kleaser finally calls in that Hellstorm missile. But Complexity, they will win Raid Hardpoint. I think they might even get to 250 here. But
yeah.
Let's take a look at the scoreboard. Kleaser 23 and 22, but he's still leading the team in defense. I mean, he's tied with Aches, and that's the sign of a good anchor right there, as well as teamwork for the anchor position.
Yeah, I mean, that all is really teamwork and communication, because if he's going to rotate into the hill, other people need to be there to pick up the anchor position so the spawns don't mess up. But, you know, that's also a perfect example of why you want to save your score streaks when your team absolutely needs them. We see a lot of teams, they'll use their streaks extremely early, or they'll get really excited when they get them and just call them in. And that's a reason why you kind of hold on to them.
Smart plays coming out of Kleaser, as not only can he do work getting the spawns for his team, but he can make his way inside the hardpoint and do some objective work when it calls for it. So Complexity, they're going to take Raid Hardpoint 249 to 204, and now it's a 4-3 map count, still in favor of Curse, but Complexity, they're starting to crawl back into this one.
Yeah, you know, starting to make a comeback, but they're going to have to win a search and destroy. You're not going to win series anywhere, LAN, online, any type of tournaments if you can't win search and destroy gameplays.
And the next map, it's going to be Express Search and Destroy. We're going to see if Complexity can hang on for yet another map. We're heading to a quick break, but when we come back, it's going to be map number 8 in tonight's program.